It should be good.
Sure. Oh, you can't. They can't see you nowhere. All right. Ready?
Go.
All right. All right. All praises to
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Hashem,
double honors to Apostle Elton in New York, GMS. Decided to take you out around the world, this teaching the truth. All right, so today's topic is going to be to prove that the so-called Mexicans are Israelites, according to Deuteronomy 28. And you have a lot of scoffers, basically talking shit, and they always go after our brothers, the travel Israel, for the so-called Mexicans, right? Because they think we can prove, according to scriptures, that they're not Israelites. But hey, we can prove that, man. All right, it's really Yahweh shall prove that the so-called Mexicans are the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, let me get somebody get Hosea, somebody get Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. Y'all can jump in with scriptures, y'all.
Four and 22?
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 4 and 22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Right, you niggas, man, you dropped 2/3 of the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, man. You're foolish and stupid people, man. All right, those were sottish me, man. You always open your damn mouth when you make a comment on a particular subject, but you don't know anything about the subject. All right, you don't know the scriptures, man. You want to scoff at the 12 tribe sign? You can't break down when you talk about the 12 tribe sign wrong, but you can't give us the correct breakdown according to you. All right, just shut the fuck up, man. All right, somebody will bring something out.
Well, I grab one real quick.
Okay.
Because like how you in Romans 8 it says the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit, and the Spirit is the words of these scriptures that we read. Now, when we read that Jeremiah 50 and 33,
right.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." Now, when you go into this, it's talking about what? It's talking about Babylon oppressing the children of Israel and the children of Judah. When did that happen throughout history?
Right.
It can only be talked about now in modern day Babylon.
That's right.
Because when you trace history, the northern kingdom was carried away into the Assyrian captivity before the Babylonians came into power.
Right.
So
it could have been back then. It's talking about right now. Modern times.
Yep.
All right. So, hey, man, the so-called Mexicans are the Israelites, man. All right. According to Deuteronomy 28. Really, according to the whole book of the whole book of the Bible, man. All right. So we get Deuteronomy 28, verse 45 and 46.
You got it right.
All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not to the voice of the Lord power thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever."
Right, so the curse is going to identify who are the true children of Israel during these last days, man. All right, you got the so-called Negroes in the ghetto, you got so-called Latinos in the ghetto, you got the so-called. Go ahead.
The word ghetto, what does it mean? The place where the Jews dwell.
That's right. That's right, man. That's right. Hey, the Reds, the Reds is a fucking ghetto, man. The Reds base are fucking ghettos.
The barrio.
Yeah, the barrio. Yeah.
And when you walk up the street, you go into the Ham neighborhood, you don't see gangbangers on the corner like that.
Yeah.
Esau neighborhood ain't like that. Elam, Ishmael, nobody. You go to the Latin neighborhoods, the so-called Negroes neighborhoods,
right.
even some Gadites, man, they be in the shit with them too, man.
That's right.
What they have, gangs, man.
Right.
That's in the Isaiah. They should stand at the head of every way.
He
Man.
got a brother
Like
got
what?
that scripture. Matter of fact, put a video of a Mexican gang.
Even the hatred towards one another, man.
Right.
They beef with each other. Latin Kings versus GDs. All right, that's part of this damn nigga culture in America, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the curses. I should be evil towards that brother.
Yeah. Somebody got that scripture.
Yeah, it's like
No, go ahead.
And I was just watching a video how the culture is in Los Angeles. And you know Los Angeles basically flooded with Escar. And they got a thing where Judah and his first Escar, man. It's like at one point it was so bad that so-called Mexicans used to just see a black guy, they would just shoot him, just on sight, because they had so much hate towards one another.
In that movie, damn,
American Meat.
No. It's an old school black movie. Menace to Society.
Yeah.
They drop him off their alley.
Right.
Let's hope the Mexicans beat his ass.
Right. Yeah. They help them up. Yeah.
Yep,
They help.
the Mexicans help him.
Yeah.
The cops beat his ass and took him to the Mexican neighborhood, hoping the Mexican beat his ass.
Right.
Because it's a kind of Judah be at each other like that.
Yep. They put on Nortino versus Serranos.
Norteño.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the correction.
So what am I putting?
It's a Spanish one.
Say it, man.
Norteños.
Serranos.
Norteños.
Yeah. Once this computer stop acting up. Oh, I can just type it in right here instead of YouTube.
You can just type it in there and then go to either way you get.
So how am I supposed to spell this?
SURENOS versus
Nortino.
Oh.
I see a personal experience. Like you go down there, even let's start that kind of fighting system. Yeah, but like ISIS, Water Brothers, you got the motherfucking Danish and Animals, you got the different kind of Mexicans, and all them fight against each other, man. Even for the same type of towns and shit. You know?
They play one of those videos.
Hey, we just went through that shit at the Passover.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Lankeys. Yeah, the Lankeys. No, it was the same disciples, SDs. They thought we was Lankeys and shit. Yeah, black as we was. But the dark brown as we was.
What?
Yeah.
Man, this shit grand.
That could be just the intro.
That's just the intro. Is it just the intro?
I'm hoping shit.
I hope this ain't no damn thing.
They got it. Yeah, they got it where they.
Oh, it's in. So it's okay.
No, to get some real life shit. Come on, take that shit off.
This shit is bugged up.
I got that Isaiah too.
I'll get that.
This Isaiah.
Okay.
Isaiah 51 and verse 20. It says, "Thy sons have fainted; they lie at the head of all the streets."
So it's like no we're in our lower state, man. All right. Yeah.
It says, "As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord Yahweh, the rebuke of thy power."
Right. So in this lower state, what are people doing, man? Out there on the corners on bullshit.
That's
man.
another damn video.
Why is this shit gang banging and ready to kill their fucking brother, man?
And the niggas brag about that. I've been on the block all day. I've been on the block all night. They on the streets. They on the corners all day. We're working wickedness.
Oh, they
This type video, see if you can see this in the street. Peace. Yeah, get that. Oh fuck it, that's it. They're doing shit. What the video say? You can't find anything.
You might go on Google, type in images.
Yeah, just type images, man.
Mexican, put Mexican games.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Try to find show right up.
Well, they'll go to images anyway. All right, somebody get that scripture out.
Is Isaiah again?
Yeah.
Isaiah 51 and verse 20. It says, "Thy sons have fainted; they lie at the head of all the streets."
So he explains that in the Arab hood. What about the Africans hood? Is that in the Chinese? You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Who does this, man? This is just like niggas, because they are niggas, man.
Hey, even if and they was doing this, they back then in the day they was called the sons of Belial. And they read Judges.
That's right.
That's a group of niggas walking around into some mischief, man.
Yep.
You know, like they show in the movies. Bitch walking to the store, they grab her ass. Nigga walk by, they don't know, they beat them, jump them.
Beat them, jump them.
Sons of Belial, worthless niggas, man.
Yep.
What they call themselves? Savages.
Yeah.
Worthless demons. They
Yeah.
brag about it.
Who else does this? And then look at the women. Nigga women, man.
Woo! This so-called massive women, who they some nigga women, man?
Especially the hood ones.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Cholas.
Cholas. You feel on this guy's side, that's it, man.
I had a scripture.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Isaiah 51 and verse 20 says, "Thy sons have fainted; they lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, and thy power."
And it's an example of being drunken, but not with actual wine, man. This is philosophy, man. This is what was fed to our people. You see, this culture, man, that's not ours. You know.
It's Messianic. The red and blue, that's Messianic.
Oh yeah, like the MS-13. They say you gotta rape a woman or kill somebody to be a part of that game. And they one of the most ruthless gangs in the world, man.
Except for Fury, man.
Right. If you look at their gang, their whole face, a lot of oh, that's culture for that star also. They'll paint their whole face, they'll tattoo their whole face, their whole body. They're the ones that really, started that whole tattoo culture. And Judah hopped on it, and now you see niggas with face tattoos right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's his Jake, man. Jake be full of that fury, man.
Yeah. They just Mexican gang California jumped on this Jake, disabled Jake, man. The whole crowd jumped on his ass and shit, man. All right, so the so-called Mexican, what there is like, why are these curses fitting on their seed, man? Because they are the Israelites, man. All right, so I'm gonna do Deuteronomy 28:54.
This is
Oh, take that precept first. There you go.
Proverbs 6:13 it says, "He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh." It says he winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. And that's what you see, going on here. When they wink with their eyes, oftentimes they can sing about murder, like a hit call, or teach it with the finger that be standing, throw those signals, gang signs and all that stuff. That's how they greet each other. And they say he speaks with his feet, they be so-called crip walking or blood hopping, and it's the same old shit, right? This northern southern kingdom is the same old shit, And that was just a quick precept I had, looking at that image of the northern kingdom. Yeah, that's a clear application. Yeah. I'm not sure the first application. Yeah, they say, Malchushan, real quick, verse 14 says, "Frowardness is in his heart, he deviseth mischief continually, he soweth discord." That's one of the 6 things of the Lord. He said, "Something an abomination." Man, that's what discord amongst the brother. And that's all they full of: malice, malicious, evil, mischief.
Yeah.
That's 2/3 to a team.
It's 2/3, man. Like you go along 23rd South California, man. You'll find them laying up the corners of the streets, man. California, wherever you go, man, you'll find them. Nashville, shit, I'm up down there, man. All right.
Hey, real quick, it is crazy because you got these other heathens that want to be like Jake. When they join the game, they try to look so much like Yashar, man.
Right.
Like they try to look like Jake to the T, man. All right. Like they'll get in the game, like the gangs out there in China.
Yeah.
They got lowriders and they wear bandanas, they wear pants off their ass and shit.
They call themselves cholos.
Cholo.
As long as that actual
I was
Israelites.
gonna say a lot of them be confused in the face, man. They spirit bears witness,
It's just crazy.
But you have just to add them to you, you have examples like Malibu, Most Wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's an example of I want to say last year there was this Edomite kid. He was out hanging. He from LA. He was out hanging with some Jakes, and the Jakes had him go commit a murder. Got popped off for it. Now the Jakes got put under, but the little Edomite rich kid, the judge was like he was influenced, so therefore he didn't get no jail time, man.
He wasn't on the curse.
He's not under the curses, exactly.
Yep.
You know,
that was that Crip gang. Those are Crip gang and stuff. They went to jail. He got off. He saw.
And he the one that actually pulled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was trying to fit in. He was going to the hood trying to do that, man.
Yeah.
You ever go into the county over 26th Street? That's all you see, man. So-called Negroes and Latinos, man.
Yeah. You know? All in the jail cell. Real stuff, man. All in the prison cell. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8 and 16, and it reads, "The Spirit itself, Spirit witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High." All right, so so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the real Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. All right, and what's the Spirit? This is John 6 and 63, and it reads, "It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life, man." So the words that are written in this book, man, hey, that's the Spirit, man. Hey, you can go into the curses in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, read on down for 15, from 15 to 68. Hey, that's talking about us, man. That's our life from a day-to-day basis, man. You can read Genesis chapter 49 on the 12 tribes, what would happen, what would occur to the 12 tribes of Israel in the last days, man. And those prophecies only fit the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. All right, you know.
I'm gonna bring out something.
I got you got Deuteronomy.
I got that Deuteronomy. We're gonna hold that.
Yeah, bring it out first. Then he bring it out.
Now this is Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother and towards his wife of his bosom and towards the remnant of the children which he shall lead."
So I can real quick. Can you jump up to Bible? Is it 45? Bible shot, and then jump down.
Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed."
It said, "It shall pursue thee and overtake thee." These are examples of the curses that we're under, man. We're seeing the results of it. The brother just read Romans 8 and 16 and gave that breakdown, saying what? That these prophecies, these scriptures fit no other people, man. It's these curses would be on us. Go ahead.
Because thou have heard not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
That's key right there. Those curses going to be on us for what? A sign and a wonder. So the people that's under this curse are the children of Israel, man. That's a sign, man. That's a token letting you know that this is what it is, you know?
We fit the description, you know?
That's right.
I got that word if I may real quick. This is the word sign in the Hebrew in that scripture that the brother just read. It's the Hebrew word awaf. It says sign, signal, a distinguishing mark.
Just like how the distinguishing mark was put on Cain.
That's right.
The mark of leprosy, this nigga is the Edomite, he's the man of sin.
Yep.
These curses is a distinguishing mark upon us, man. To know who we are. This is a result of not obeying the covenant, the contract that we signed with the Lord. This is a result of it, man. Who else fits that?
And so like I was just saying, they're the most zealous about following like the Lord, I guess. You know? Not following him, but like believing in the Lord. Do you ask any so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American if they believe in God, they'll tell you right away, yeah, I believe in God.
It's Romans 10 and 1.
Exactly.
Well, my people have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. You know?
And because even in that Romans, it says how they do the things written in the law, and then the law to themselves, man.
Oh, the census report. Our people, we don't report ourselves on the census, man. Some of the Spirit tells us not to do that.
Right.
Or we don't eat blood and meat.
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and these were customs that people that like James the Deer, he wrote a whole book about it. And he was observing the natives of this land, and he said, in conclusion, these would have to be descendants of the Israelites because of the customs that they kept, separating their women. They wore fringes. They cooked their food and then eat it with blood. They circumcised, unleavened bread, circumcised their sons, so on and so forth. It all goes back to the laws. I mean, Psalm 147, it says, "I show my word unto Jacob," or the 149. I showed 147 and 19.
Right, because why from all the way from Alaska, Argentina, why do all these people wear fringes?
Right, right. Why is there Hebrew artifacts all throughout the Western Hemisphere? You know, but
I got you. This Psalms 147 verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Right.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He said he showed his statutes and his judgments unto the nation of Israel. As for everybody else, they don't know about his statutes and his judgments. They don't know about his laws. So why is there a Decalogue stone in Las Lunas, New Mexico, with the 10 Commandments in the ancient Hebrew?
Yeah.
That shows you right there.
Right. Why the so-called masters some of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 if they wasn't the Israelites? Because they are the Israelites.
Why did Christopher Cologne have Hebrew translators?
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Here it is, and they've been here the longest, along with the Negro, so-called, which they're the Southern Kingdom, you know. But Esau, he does dealings with all these other nations, but with us, we're still third quarter, man.
Yeah. They had to go. They call you guys niggas. Went back. Niggas with straight hair and stuff.
You got Jake, Northern Kingdom, Issachar, Zebulun, etc., coming from south, and the islands in Mexico. They come here, you know, and we don't prosper, man. We live in the ghettos and the hoods.
Yeah.
All right, our parents, you know, end up getting deported. But these heathens, they come here. These Polacks, these Ishmaelites, man, they come here, live in a nice neighborhood, open up a good business, and they're doing good, man. Our people come here,
Get all type of grants.
Yeah.
You know.
You got this card out there in California picking strawberries and, you know, tomatoes for like 15 cents, 20 cents
A basket.
a basket. You know, making like about $15,000 a year, man. Giving them crumbs, man.
Well, I'm gonna get this scripture right here. Deuteronomy 28 verse 17. Cursed should be thy basket and thy store. All right, and you go above, it says, "Word, cursed thou shalt be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field."
That's it.
All right.
That's it. And the brother was explaining about these heathens that come to America. What about the immigrant problem with them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He ain't talking about closing down customs and stop these motherfuckers from coming overseas.
Yeah.
The focus is what? The border, man. Why is that? Because that's our people, man. It's just an agenda to focus what? On the children of Israel, you know?
Right. He said the heathens, they come big and they always prosper above the so-called Mexicans. He said Deuteronomy 28. And the so-called Mexicans, they come to Mexico, they be oppressed by the Edomites that rule over them.
Right.
And then they run to America, man. The Edomites pressing down America.
But then you have a nigga. Oh, see, they can't be the Israelites because they got their own land. But a nigga say that the whole tribe's in Africa.
Right.
Don't them niggas got their own land?
Right.
Ain't the Ghanaian president a Ghanaian motherfucker?
Right.
So according to your own breakdown, they couldn't be them either.
Right.
It don't make sense, man.
Right.
And anyway,
not saying those were Israelites in Ghana,
right?
You know, but hey, those people, no Israelites will go down Ghana, man.
I'm using it as an example.
Right.
It's an example of these cats that be like, oh well, Mexico they got their land, and they say that the 10 tribes are lost in Africa.
That's stupid. Jamaicans, they're called Jamaican.
Right.
They got their land.
Haiti.
Right. That's what
Right.
They got their own independence.
Anyway, that scripture in Isaiah 11, all the scriptures is Egypt, let me see, Egypt, Syria, and Iraq, and India. All right, if you look up if you look up the definition at the margin of those certain names and stuff, man. All right, how the fuck that's a whole continent of Africa, man? You niggas stupid, man. Fucking idiots. All right. What else scripture I hit? Yeah, Deuteronomy. Somebody get that book. Mysteries of Mexican Pyramids. Page 14. 17.
Yeah, you can jump back down to 54. The point that shows this Serenos and Norteños.
Yep. Yes. Get that why they show that.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. And that's what you see now. Hey, you see the southern and northern kingdom, hey, beefing with each other. Y'all know what I'm saying? Got that evil eye, man. That's a part of the curses.
Yep.
You know?
Right. Hey, you see the northern kingdom and the northern kingdom beefing
with each other.
Southern kingdom
Here in
and southern
Chicago, on north side, it's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot outside. Niggas warm. The gangs warm with each other. Latin Kings versus SD. The Latin King versus the SGD, Spanish Gate disciples. Or they versus the Maniac Latin disciples, or the Tutu boys versus the Latin Kings. You got Latin Kings killing Latin Kings, man.
Sometimes it's worse with them than it is with with Judah, man.
Yeah.
You know, they see an Issachar or so-called Latin pass by, he'll talk shit to them, man.
That's right.
You know,
Hey,
more so than he would with Judah, man.
this past winter, man, in on that 23rd California, man, no, Los Angeles on West 42nd Street, they broke one of the brothers' window out. They thought they thought one of the Judite brothers was a gangster cycle, man. Yeah. All right, because they done the curses, man.
Yeah.
All right, somebody get that book, Mysteries of Mexico, page, start with 14.
This Mysteries of Mexico, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids
By Peter said,
by Peter
Tompkins. Page 14.
Page 14.
Yes.
It says,
I got it underlined.
is it underlined?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can start talking.
Go ahead. It says, the second section titled Indian Sacrifice. It says, when Cortez returned with enough Spaniards and native allies to defeat the
Hold on, with native who?
native allies.
Showed Esau weak. Yeah. All right, to show that the Most High was with Esau to bring us down. All right, we was on the curses, man. All right, go ahead.
It says he ordered the great and beautiful city of Tenochtitlan destroyed. Palaces, columns, and gods were buried in the mud to avoid the stench of the dead. The Spaniards set up camp in the nearby village of Coyoacán. Groups of captive Indians razed every last building of the Aztec capital and filled in the canals till not a stone was standing. On the leveled ruins, Cortez found his own great capital, Mexico City, patterned on a feudal model already dying in Europe. All right, it says Mexican slaves by the thousands, many of them highly skilled in sculptors, carpenters, masons, and gardeners, hauled stone and timber from the debris of Tenochtitlan. Iron chisels and iron hammers enabled them to cut the forest.
Hold on. You said Mexicans slaves, right?
Yep.
Somebody go to Genesis 49.
Just by the thousands.
Yeah, about 1,000.
Because that's the thing about Northern Kingdom too, man. They're quick to, look at Southern Kingdom and judge them because they were in slavery, man. You were in slavery first, man.
That's right.
All right.
Before we get that, somebody get Deuteronomy 28 and 50. Before we get that Genesis 49. Somebody get Deuteronomy 28 and 50.
It's Deuteronomy 28 and 50.
Start with 49.
And 49, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee far from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle. Fly
That's Esau. That's Esau. Because the Spaniards do get the eagle on their flag, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, shit, majority of these Edomite nations do.
Yup, Greece, all that, Hitler, the Germans and stuff.
Rome, I believe Rome.
Rome had it, man. That's how you know who Esau is, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flying. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
That's why they brought the Hebrew. That's why they brought the Israelites from Spain, man, to talk to the Israelites over in Americas, man. All right. Yeah, that's right, man. That's when you find all types of Hebrew artifacts throughout America, man. All right. You can't deny that these people. You can't deny these people. You can't deny that they're not Israelites, man. They're Israelites. All right, go ahead.
It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right, slaughtering everybody. Man, the brother just read it, man. Right. All right, and then they became enslaved, man. All right, somebody get that Genesis 49, 14.
Genesis chapter 49, 14. It's part of strong ass crouching down between two birds.
Right, that's their burrow, man. You go down to Mexico, they get this the burrow symbol stuff, man. All right, you type that in, it's associated with the so-called Mexico, right?
And when we say, that's right.
Go ahead.
When we say Issachar, that's the true nationality of the so-called Mexicans. And that word Issachar is a Hebrew word Yashashkar, which means he is hired, man. If a so-called Negro and a so-called Mexican, they go and apply for the same job, they gonna get the Mexican. We can pay him whatever, and we gonna get him to do the job, and he's not gonna complain. Or any other nation, they gonna more than likely they'll get Issachar to do the job, where he can pay him, and he gonna get it done right.
You go to a China spot, you go to an Elamite spot, wherever spot you go to, you find out that it's Issachar back there cooking.
Yeah.
Chef under the hot stove,
You know?
under the hot stove, not complaining all day long.
They can work like 14, 18 hours.
Yep.
And my old job, he like the dude named Carlos, man. He was like, "Hey Mike, man, come on, man, do some more." I said, "But I can't hang." I said, "That's y'all blessing, man." I said, "Hey, man."
If I can,
Yeah.
if I can add, the ass, there's the donkey, and donkeys, they're farming animals. They're known to be the hardest working animals in the farm.
But they straight.
You know, they're strong. You
Yeah.
can put a lot of things on them, and they'll carry it.
Yeah.
They're good for tilling the ground. And this car, they're known for being a hard worker. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, what they do is they make the donkey with the horse to make a mula.
Yeah,
And
the mule.
the
Yep.
mule.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's a strong ass horse.
Strong
It's
ass.
taller and it's stronger.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you get a soak up there, he don't look like he work out. That motherfucker be caught strong in the mall.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
when House got me a job where he worked at, it was making CTA seats. And you gotta make it by hand.
Right.
And I was in the department, it was all Northern Kingdom, you know what I'm saying? All Israelites. Man, bro, I tried my hardest, bro. I don't know. And, yeah. I was like, I was starting to get cut up right here, you know what I'm saying, the arms and stuff like that, but it was doing like it was nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? But I understand now,
Right.
being in the truth, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
makes a lot of
Hey,
sense.
my mama confessed that she said her job, they know the so-called messengers. Like that's why they hired babies. I was shocked to hear that, man. And stuff. So, and why did Esau constantly move his plants down in Mexico, man? All right, because they the tribe of Israel, he is higher. All right, they burrow. That's their burrow, man. That's their tribe symbol, man. All right, somebody keep going. You gonna get something? All right, somebody keep going in that verse. No, Genesis 49.
That's Genesis 49, 14. 15. Oh, 1:15.
No, that's it.
Yeah, that was it, man.
No, read that again. They said
Genesis 49, 14.
Yeah.
It's called the strong ass crouching down between two burdens.
America, Mexico. Go ahead.
It said, and he saw that the rest was good.
And the rest was good. That siesta, take a break in the middle of the afternoon or something. Everything shut down. Don't give a fuck what you gotta do. Your car get fixed, ain't gonna get fixed. Man, they gonna take that break. All right, go ahead.
It said he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant.
Right, Mexico beautiful, man. Why did Esau keep constantly running to this land, man? Because it's beautiful, man. All the resources, everything, man. All right, go ahead.
As I said, bowed his shoulder to bear, became a servant to tribute.
Became a servant to tribute. He became a slave, man. All right, continue out that book.
Right, so like when you cuss those guys that say Issachar got their own land.
That's right.
They for one, their leaders are puppets, and a lot of them are Spaniards.
I was gonna say if they ain't tears, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of them are Spaniards.
Right, because nowadays so-called Mexicans, they're deceived, man. They'll worship or they'll celebrate the Day of Independence, you know, not knowing that it wasn't their independence. It was the white Spaniards that came and colonized. They got their independence from Spain, man. They didn't have to pay that check anymore, man.
Right.
You know, they got all the fruits of your work, man. And here it is, they made you guys fight in that same war.
Right. They don't understand that it was the descendants of those Spaniards that was living there and settled there.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of them had so-called native mothers, so they considered themselves to be natives there of that land. But no, their fathers were from Spain.
Yeah.
So they were the ones that got the their victory or their freedom from Spain. Basically, they got freedom from their own people.
Yeah.
While Issachar ass was still in servitude, man.
If you go down there, it's just like American self and says Spanish, man.
And
You got go ahead. No.
I would say just like niggas celebrate
Well,
July 4th.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Memorial Day.
That's right.
Yeah. Nobody celebrates July 4th harder than niggas, man.
That's right.
Esau ain't going out there buying thousands of dollars worth of fireworks The neighbor just the other day I was on the porch with, and I was letting like two of my boys.
Oh, yeah.
Pop out, yep, he there you with me.
Yeah.
He come here on the floor, we go down there, take $1,000 for the fireworks. The whole community come out. That's what niggas do. I was growing up. One block could be in a firework war with the other block. They just pop off fireworks back and forth. You know, Esau ain't doing that. Yeah. Esau go downtown and watch some professionals shoot the shit that's over with. Niggas go get the matching outfits. You know, they gonna get the white Air Force Ones.
American shoot with on a flag on
with the flag on the shorts, all right, with the flag on the shirt. Esau ain't doing that shit.
Oh, they got do-rags back out here.
Yeah, the American flag do-rag. Just like Cinco de Mayo, it's gotta be out there. Turn. They block the they have block parties and shit.
Right.
Got the Mexican flag waving around that truck.
With the American flag on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Ham ain't going that hard for that. Ishmael ain't going that hard for that. Moab, no, that's niggas, man.
Yep.
I said niggas will seek to their lovers. When I say niggas, I mean all 12 tribes. It says they will seek to their lovers and not find them, man. Hey, nobody love a heathen like an Israelite, man.
Yep. Hey, what do you always say about can the rest of the nations be saved?
Yeah.
All right.
Coming back to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says Mexican slaves by the thousands, many of them highly skilled as sculptors, carpenters, masons, and gardeners.
Yeah, so it said many of them highly skilled as sculptors, masons, and gardeners. They was hardworking people, and that shows you that those are the same people that was building up the treasure cities in Egypt. It said that they was masons, they was master builders, man. All right, and they came over here, and the same pyramids is that similar pyramids that's in Egypt is the pyramids that's over here in I believe it's in Central South America. Right? Down in Central South America, there's pyramids that's built just like the ones in Egypt, man. It's the same Israelites that built them.
Yeah, we go down there in Mexico, man. It's the same. It's the same pyramid, but it's big as hell. Giving all the people down, man.
Got to preach up.
Go ahead.
First Maccabees 13 and 27. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind him, behind and before. Moreover,
And
he
that
said,
hewn stone basically going into what? Sculpted. You know, mason work. He cut into the rock. You know what I'm saying? It was a stone that was designed. You know, that's what hewn stone means.
Man, can you pull up an image of a Mexican pyramid? Let's go see.
Verse 28. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and for his mother and for his 4 brethren. All right, and that goes to show you that the Israelites knew how to build pyramids. All right. Hey, even in Panama, when I went to Panama, they had tours where you can go see the pyramids that the people had built there in the ancient times.
Come on, man. They not the Israelites,
right?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
They're like some straight out of Egypt.
Yeah, and Esau whole ass, he still baffled at how they created that, man.
Almost the aliens come.
Yeah, man, that's his fucking that's how he sum it up.
There couldn't be tricks
Yeah.
He want to get a credit to so-called Mexicans.
Exactly.
But who's the main one on the construction site today?
Yep.
It's Issachar, man.
It's
Issachar
man.
working them long ass hours in the on the hot days on the construction site, building all these fucking houses.
It ain't no so-called niggas will do. I mean, nigga, he'll do roof work and stuff. They're not gonna work on long hours.
Right.
Like shit, I know I ain't this kind of shit. I can't hang.
I know it's got to be working the regular construction job from Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday they got them side jobs.
Right, taco truck or something. They own little.
Like construction jobs.
They don't
So they don't get no break. I'm like, damn.
That's y'all blessings, man. And his part, Esau knows that. That's why the niggas be talking about, Mexicans stole my job. I know Esau gave your job to Issachar, man. All right, he do that shit because Issachar is, so-called Mexicans are trapping Issachar. At the same time, he do that called strife between the Southern and North.
This is not gonna work. That they gonna figure it out.
And then Esau, Issachar cheap. You know, and Issachar take the job. You know, Esau or these other tribes want $13-14 an hour for a dishwashing job. Right. Issachar works cheap.
I can tell you right now.
It says, iron chisels and iron hammers enabled them to cut the porous red stones of the valley into palatial European houses. You know, it says over the doors of which the new hidalgos could place their carved escutcheons, where Indian palaces and pyramids had stood. You know, right, so they were building over those pyramids and those Indian palaces.
Yep.
All right. It says churches and monasteries sprang up completely with battlements, buttresses, and heavy grilled windows against the Indians who had built them.
Right. So I get Deuteronomy 28:30.
Says surviving on water and a few tortillas, the Indians, at their own expense, supplied
devils. They ain't get out. People don't be real. All right. So I get Deuteronomy 28:30. He said they build the temples, the churches, and the houses and stuff. This is Deuteronomy 28:30.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 30.
No, you know what? Go to 29.
Deuteronomy 20.
And read 29 to 30. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
Right. Meaning you should be they should be blind to the truth. They'll know who they are. They'll know who there is like. They're into gang banging, they're thousands, to all that, man. All right. All right. Go ahead. They get all the different philosophies, man. They grope in the darkness. All right. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
Thou shalt not prosper. They're not prospering in ways. And it's called that's not prosper. Not here in Mexico, not here in America. All right. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
And no man shall save. They being spoiled right now. They got their land took. They build their houses being built on top of their palace and stuff, man. All right, but spoiled evermore, man. They take constantly oppressing and taking this shit from us, man. Then this is the so-called message. Go ahead, keep me up.
Verse 30, it says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
It did that happen when they was a slave, man. Like the brother just explained. The Spaniards popped the women, man. Then they talk about they see so-called Mexico, they mama is addition. They mama's addition is a car wreck, man. All right? No, man. We'll see you go by who your father is. Go ahead. Keep on.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
It does happen to the brother reading out this book, man. That's happening, and it's happening right now, man. They building Esau houses, still can't live in them, man. And it's been so-called Mexican brother. It's called my house. He fixed my air conditioning shit. And he said he get pissed off that he building houses that Esau lived. He hate the white man. He said I fucking hate them motherfuckers, man.
And the apostles, some of the apostles and the elders, they do a lot of like carpentry and stuff like that. They say they go into these nice houses, and then shit afterwards they got to go back. They working on houses in the suburbs where Esau is at. They ain't got to care in the world.
Yep.
After you work on their house and fix on their house, you go back to your house and it's a fucking hole in the wall, man.
Right. Hey, Jamie told me they gonna buy the house. Hey man, no house you no, it ain't fucking real houses, man. Go to Evanston and shit. Or go to the suburbs, some of the suburbs in America, or go down there in Mexico, man. All right? They'll build some big ass houses, man. Yeah, shit. I see the apartment bill. I said, I said, what the fuck is this? Damn apartment bill, like down there 2-3 blocks down, man. What the fuck? Go ahead.
Just showing like this is proof, you know.
Right.
Like how they live in, you know, big nice mansions and shit like that, like in the suburbs.
Right.
You know. And like you said, you go back home to your shack or your 1,000 square foot house, you know, you cramped up and whatnot, but they got the food of the earth, you know, like the lack of better terms, but you know. Like,
same thing down in Mexico, man. You got suburbs. You got Emites being a fool in the suburbs in Mexico, man. In Jake Point, the fucking bar in the ghetto. All right. All right. Yes, got some more now. Still on the line?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, surviving on drinking water and a few tortillas, the Indians at their own expense supplied all the work and all the materials brought up from the childhood to a Spartan life. Trained to endure pain, they worked long hours without showing fatigue, constantly
without showing fatigue. Strong, yeah, it is a car, man.
Yeah.
The world. Go ahead.
constantly subjected to unbelievable savagery by the Spaniards, man.
Right.
And they call us savages, man. But the Spaniards were really the ones who were brute beasts.
Yeah,
Man.
Even Delicacies.
Yep.
It says, man, he was like, man, the shit that they was doing, man, it, like, you know. So you could you know, whether he was a Jake or an Edomite, but still, like, it's certain shit that Esau do that make the other Edomites be like, God damn.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Or you can see it in the drawings, man. I think it's in the same books, man. They show the drawings of this car woman hanging by their feet while the dog's eating their face, man. You know, and these women were pregnant, man.
Cutting open the baby, letting it fall to the ground, letting the dogs eat them, trampling them with the horses, throwing them up, catching them on a sword where you get ball in the cup from, pinata, hanging them up and beating them.
Yeah.
You
While
know?
we on it, put a book at again, Lynch. Keep that book on that.
Ain't that how they got the idea for soccer?
Right.
No,
you can read that.
Well, that's what they say, but you know, Jake was playing soccer way back then. It was, you know, Gad had a whole lacrosse deal, and
I know that.
you know, not to take away the fact that them niggas was kicking Jake heads around and playing games with it, you know.
Christopher Columbus, he couldn't even put his sword down to people that he identified as peaceable.
Exactly.
That's savage shit, man.
Well, and that's according to Psalms, right? So not only is Esau characteristics speaking throughout the scriptures, why wouldn't Israel characteristics speak within the scriptures? These same niggas will point and be like, oh, that's Esau Edom, but nigga, look at in South America, look at all these tribes waking up speaking Spanish. Now, of course, there's camps in what name do they bear waking up in Africa, by the way? Let's put that out there. Great millstone camps, but where's the it's all the 10 tribes lost in Africa. Where majority of the camps should be in Africa then, man. Right. You see it waking up, and you got brothers in Mexico and Peru, brothers in Bolivia, man, everywhere, man. Brothers in Puerto Rico, you know.
California, look at California, they got a heavy Northern Kingdom camp out here in Chicago, you know. They can waking up all across the world.
You don't see no black only Israelite niggas. Where they camps at, man? You don't see them niggas. Where the camps at, man? Where's black only Israelites out in the highways and hedges?
They on Facebook.
Where's your 12 tribe chart? According to Ezekiel the 37th chapter, there's two sticks coming together. You know? So you niggas can't have the truth, man. You ain't got it, man.
Hey, read this book, Forgotten Dead. Roman number 13 and go to 40. All right. And read it again, Deuteronomy 28:50. All right. And then Forgotten Dead is about being lit in America. Hey man, show that book on the screen. Just keep that page. Show that book to see Forgotten Dead. Being lit. Yeah. It's the so-called message. It's the second, right behind the tribe of Jews, so-called Negroes being lynched in America. But you niggas, you don't know that, man. You don't fucking read. You foolish, man. You quick to say that the so-called nest are not Israelites, man. But all the curses fitting them, man.
Posing the same way. When the postcard sent with Jake with Southern Kingdom hanging, and these niggas posing, it's the same thing right here, man. This is Northern Kingdom hanging right here, man. And you see what? Edomites back there posing, man, smiling, little children, from the young to the old, man. But they don't fit they mongoloids, brother.
What did the sign say? No blacks, no Mexicans, no dogs.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. That's right. That's right.
Even in the book, in the book called Jews in America by Thomas Thorogood, it goes into how the so-called Latinos and so-called Native Americans, they were being shipped from like the islands of Hispaniola in Florida.
We gonna bring that up.
That's the spirit. Oh, well, and so it shows you that even they were on those slave ships, man. It told in those
we gonna bring it up next. Go ahead, bring that up.
This is in page 13 in the middle of the paragraph. It says, although Anglo mobs murdered men born in other Spanish-speaking nations, such as Spain, Chile, and Peru, these victims.
Such as Spain, Chile, Peru.
The
Italian Chile, Italian Ash, Peru. Go ahead.
These victims constituted a tiny fraction compared to Mexicans. Finally, the story of remembering and forgetting mob violence in the United States is connected to the Mexican government and Mexican American communities in the United States. It says, although the surviving sources forces an occasion to use an unsatisfying general term such as a Spanish speaker. We refer to populations as specifically as possible, referencing the country of origin for native Spanish speakers in the United States, period. It says, while this study focuses on persons of Mexican descent, it also acknowledges the diversity within the Mexican community in the United States. Even though the vast majority of Spanish speakers in the southwest borderlands were descendants of Mexican nationals, there were and still are significant and important differences among them. When these are explored, these terms will be used to designate a person of Mexican descent resident in the correlating states: Tejano, Texas; Nuevo Mexicano, New Mexico; California; and Arizonans, Arizona, period. One final point is the importance of comparative analysis in this study of the lynching of Mexicans.
Can you repeat that again? The who?
The lynching of Mexicans.
The lynching of Mexicans. Can you read it?
This is comparison between the extra-legal execution of Mexicans and parallel attacks against other ethnic and racial groups in the United States will be employed at times to bring the entire subject of mob violence into greater focus,
Go ahead.
revealing new dimensions in the history of lynching and opening new areas for study. Although comparisons of Mexican victims of mob violence will be made with a larger universe of those lynched,
Keep going.
the primary focus of our comparisons will be with African American victims of mob violence.
Stop. There you go, right there, man. Somebody get Deuteronomy 28:50 and Jeremiah 50, verse 33.
He said Deuteronomy 28 and 50.
Yeah, and read Jeremiah 50, verse 33.
Got it.
Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Don't show favor to the young, man. You can think it's literally old and young on your so-called Mexican Issachar. All right, somebody go to another scripture. 50, 33, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Jer-
But they say African American, it mentioned the so-called Mexican, it's called so-called African American Jew. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Go ahead. They refused to let them go, man. They're oppressed together, man. You had so-called Negroes being lynched, you had so-called Mexicans being lynched, right behind each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, Matt, get on the computer and go to
You don't hear no history about no Asians or no groups getting lynched and hung and the so-called these other heathen nations. It's just us. It's us as a whole. You know, our people
Right.
that's getting lynched.
You know, even to this day.
Even to this day.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This stuff didn't stop.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
right. You see Issachar hanging off the bridges.
Yeah.
Niggas still get hung. I got one for you. Hey, because you read in Deuteronomy 28, it said what? It said this curse shall be a sign upon our people. All right, this is Deuteronomy 21 and 23.
That's
Who's got? That's good. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 22. Get the precept to the Galatians. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, he be put to death and thou hang him on a tree, and is going to lynching. His body should not remain all night upon the tree. And thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is a curse of the Most High, that thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for inheritance. So that's the sign that we're a cursed nation, man, that we were hung. But the fact that curse, hey, look, we know it's with Judah. We got the song, Strange Fruit. And then it shows where Issachar is the same thing, man. They got books on it here. I think it was me, Ariel, and Abraham. Maybe it's me and Ariel. We went to that. The lynchings, right? He was with us. We went to that, man. That lynchings with Issachar is heavy, man.
And that when we were reading those articles, that was like not even 100 years ago, man. That happened. So this is recent stuff.
Yeah.
So they say forget about it, but nigga, you just did it.
Right.
Because it was happening to my grandparents, my great grandparents. This was not that long ago. Yeah, there's people that still remember segregation and the tension between the two races. That's another way that you know that so-called Latinos and Native Americans are Israelites, because the tension and the beef that they got with Esau, Edom, man. It's the same hatred, man. Right? In the book of Genesis, the Lord says that Esau and Jacob would be two nations of different manners. And one would be stronger than the other, man. Deuteronomy 7:6 says, "Thou art a special people above all people," man. When you look at the boxing realm, right? Who's the champions, man? It's Israelites, man. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, man. All right. And now Issachar, he's not gonna come into the ring and have like a 12-pack, all right? This motherfucker will put you on your ass, man. They still got that strength, you know. They still got that power in their hands. The Cubans, who was the tribe from NASA, all right? Those the strongest people on the earth. We excel in everything that we do, man. In every aspect, we excel in it, man. Yeah, that's all, you know.
Galatians.
This is just laying back on the brother's scripture, Galatians 3 and 13. Yahweh Shai hath redeemed us from the curse of the law.
Who is the us? Real quick, can you jump over to chapter 4?
Yep.
And 4 and 4.
Yep. Galatians 4 and 4. But when the fullness of time was come, the Most High sent forth His Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
So, to redeem them that were under the law. Didn't the brother read Psalms 147 earlier? Now you read
Galatians 3 and 13. Yahweh Shai hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, "Cursed is every hangeth on a tree."
Yeah, that's the side of that word curse, man. The fact it's part of our heritage, our culture, our history. It's like the yoke of iron. And it happens to nobody else, man.
That's right.
That's part of my heritage. That's these curses shall be upon me for a sign, man. So the fact that we hung on them trees, man, like the huge numbers like that, man,
yep.
We're the Israelites playing. Yep. Hey, Revelation 19:10, man. Testimony how Shai the spirit of prophecy. These prophecies that Yahweh Shai saying that He's the truth, the way to life. These prophecies are true, man. So no matter what history book you read, you can read any fucking every book ever published could have said that the Mexicans don't come from fucking China. Every book, say the elder have any of these books and they say none of this stuff. The fact that the Bible prophesied that it happened, and it happens to them the way that it happens, that's the fucking proof, man. The so-called Latins and Americans are Israelites indeed. The spirit bad wicked. And why you punk ass black only Israelites niggas standing up for the gospel, man? Nowhere. We got these brothers standing up strong, just like the name say. He is hired, man.
Jeremiah 29:18. I will persecute them with the sword, with the famine, and with the pestilence, to deliver them to be removed to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a curse and an astonishment, and the issue and reproach of all the nations without the curse. Israelites, man, it's on every continent, man. Every continent has some type of history of them exploiting, all right, and using the damn jet to their benefit, man. Whether it be beheadings, whether it be lynchings, whether it be starvation, all right, whether it be just mingling them, trying to breed them out, man.
I had a scripture real fast from the comment board, Brother Royal Seed, Daniel 9:12. It says, "He hath confirmed His words which He has made." You got it. You can read it.
God, this is Daniel chapter 9 and verse 12. And He hath confirmed His words.
You started 11.
God, Daniel 9 and 11. Yea, all Israel had transgressed Thy law.
Had to come. Why? Because go ahead.
Yea, all Israel Thy law might name Thy voice. Therefore curse is poured upon, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High.
Ain't that what we read? Deuteronomy 28 chapter, right?
Because we have sinned against Him, and He hath confirmed His words which He spake against us.
And yeah, He confirmed His words. What's the words that's talking about? The words that was in the law. If you be disobedient, I'm gonna put these curses upon you, and they'll overtake you. The Lord performed that, right? He let it come to pass. You're disobedient, so now I'm gonna have to hold up my word, and I'm gonna have to punish my people, right? It's like you tell your son, "Hey, bro, I told you not to do this. You went and did it. Now I told you already beforehand. You went and did it. Now I have to beat your ass." That's what the Lord is doing to us by putting these curses upon us. That's why we're in the Western Hemisphere, man. We're not from this side of the earth, man. Israel is our land. We got devils said, devils devour, strangers devour your land immensely, man. There's devils in our land that have to do all types of wickedness, and we over here trying to get a job, man. All right. Trying to collect unemployment, man. It's all because of what? Disobedience to Yahweh Shai, man.
Hey, as it says in Amos, the 3rd chapter, 3 and 2, man, you only have known of all the things of the earth, therefore, punish you for all of your iniquities. So we're receiving that punishment, which is why we're going through this. Amos chapter 9 and verse 12. And he hath confirmed it, and he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
So when you look at the atrocities that's been done to the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, no other nation can say that they've been through. So no other nation, every other nation, they look at their religions. They calling upon a God that looks like them. All right, our people's calling upon Esau, a God that looks like our enemy, man. Our people are speaking languages of the enemy, the so-called the Northern Kingdom, so-called Hispanics, Native American, or the Hispanics more particularly. They speak Spanish. Why? Because they was conquered by the Spaniards. We're all speaking. Everybody in this room, we speak in language of our oppressors. We didn't know our language. That shows what? Jeremiah 17. Discontinue from your heritage, man. Part of a heritage is your language. If some of us are speaking Spanish because we was conquered by the Spaniards. Some of us are speaking English because we was conquered by English, the Portuguese, the French, so on and so forth. Yep. The point is we don't have our own language. That hasn't happened to nobody else on the earth. The Chinese people got Chinese. They're fake Jews. Right. The Japanese, they speak Japanese. Everybody else got their own language except for us. Spanish, the Hispanics, they speak in the language of the same motherfuckers that came and conquered them, man. Yeah. You know?
Hey, read that from top.
God. This is
yeah, somebody get Deuteronomy 28:6. Go ahead.
Nuno Beltran de Guzman, right, was a Spanish conquistador, a colonial administrator in New Spain. He was the governor of the province of Panuco from 1525 to 1533 and of Nueva Galicia.
Go ahead.
From 1529 to 1534. President of the First Royal Audiencia of Mexico. From 1528 to 1530, he founded several cities in northwestern Mexico, including, say that word, Guadalajara, right? You want to read?
Yep.
Originally a bodyguard of Charles V of Spain, he was sent to Mexico to counterbalance the influence of the leader of the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire, Hernán Cortés, since the king worried he was becoming too powerful. As governor of Panuco, Guzman cracked down hard on the supporters of Cortés, stripping him and his supporters of property and rights. He conducted numerous expeditions of conquest into the northwestern areas of Mexico, enslaving thousands of Indians and shipping them to the Caribbean colonies.
He said what? Enslaving what?
Thousands of Indians and shipping them to the Caribbean colonies.
You know what scripture bring out next? All right, read that out.
This is Deuteronomy 28:68. It says, "In the Lord Yahweh."
Did it say? Hold on, Salaki. Let's read. Let's start. Enslaving thousands of Indians and shipping.
And what?
Shipping.
Trade.
But a nigga tell you they didn't go into slavery on slave ships. Hold on, enslaving and shipping. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:68. "And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen."
Yep. Salaki, can I bring out this real quick, the definition of Egypt real quick?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So I got something for the niggas talking about David shit to America. I got something for you.
This Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 6. "I am Yahweh thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage."
Yep.
So that's house of bondage is another word for saying house of slavery, man.
Yep.
Right.
Egypt, Matazarium in the Hebrew, double straight.
Yep.
You know, meaning nigga, we double in the hard place, nigga. We fucked up, man.
The hard rock.
Double difficulty, you know.
Go ahead, up.
Deuteronomy 28:68 from the top. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh and his ships."
When the all 12 tribes of Israel, the story went into the Egypt and Africa again, right? It's talking about this Egypt, man, America. It's also talking about bondage, all right? Also being bondage in the other lands, the other continents and islands throughout the earth, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, "By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again."
As a whole nation, now see a homeland, a sweet homeland, Israel again, man. Go ahead.
"And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen."
Yep, Most High gave us up to other nations. We end up on the slave auction blocks, man.
Yep.
And be bondmen, slaves, man. Yep, go ahead.
"And no man shall buy
and no man shall save us, man.
Well, we read Galatians 3:13.
Yep.
We're redeemed by the precious blood of the Lamb. He came to redeem his people. That's the only way we was redeemed out of this, man.
Right.
You know, redeem means to buy back. We're bought back by who? By the sacrifice Yahweh Shah made, man.
Yep.
And he only made that sacrifice to ones that were under the law, you know.
Right, in the book of Isaiah, it says they shall be bought without money. It is the blood that redeems us. It's the blood that frees us.
Hey, the so-called masters in this position, they're gonna be the elect among the tribe of Issachar. The so-called masters gonna be redeemed by the blood of Yahweh Shai, man.
Right.
So, all right, go ahead.
1 Corinthians 6:20, it says, "For ye are bought with a price, therefore glorify Yahweh in your body and your spirit, which are Yahweh's."
That's it. That's it.
That's it, man. Hey, get to you want to talk shit to an ain't came to America. Get this book, The American Discovery of Europe, page 171. You got that book, American Discovery of Europe, page 171. Got that down.
No, somebody got it.
Yeah, brother,
I got it.
Page 171.
Yeah, okay, I got it. It's the book, The American Discovery of Europe, from Jack D. Forbes, on page 171.
No, it's a lot. Slavery in America, page 230. It's a lot.
Right. This is Slavery in America.
Give it to Matt. So,
and Eyewitness History.
Yep. And that's a good book to get.
That's a test. That's a witness right there.
Yeah.
These are witnesses. All these is accounts. All these different books that the elder has to labor hard to get. You got everything.
And Garfield the cat, the one be hanging with Sonetta, you fat, flabby motherfucker. That's how we know we're Israelites, man, because Scripture says so, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
go ahead.
But a lot of these books were made by Edomites that was there during that time.
Yeah.
And in the book of Job, it says, "What? Oh, that my enemy had written a book, man." Yeah, hey, look at all these eyewitnesses, man. Hey, the Lord is cold in His workings, man.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
They tongue falling upon themselves.
That's right.
Esau has to put this information out and say, "I was the one that discovered this. I was going to do the research." They want to put their name on it. It's their pride. So even through their pride, they expose themselves, man.
Yep. That's how you view the Edomite, man. You played on his pride and shit.
Exactly.
That's how you bring his ass down. Yep. Hey, that's how you have it. Y'all will fill up with pride and gonna bring that devil Esau down, man. Like I said, Isaiah chapter 14, man. All right. Let's get that out.
This is the book Slavery in America and Eyewitness History by Dorothy Schneider and Carl J. Schneider.
Yep.
Page 230. It says New York abolishes Indian slavery.
Repeat that again.
New York abolishes Indian slavery.
I thought the natives of America, well, the Israelites, they didn't go into slavery.
And it's crazy because the title says so-called Mexicans, but this is encasing from Canada all the way down, you know. Yeah. So that's all of them. That's Gad, Reuben, it's Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, man.
Yeah.
Ephraim, Simeon, you know, all of them, man.
Right.
Yeah. New York abolishes Indian slavery. That second Ezra is clear. It says they'll come to a land where no man knew.
Or never mankind dwelt.
Never mankind dwelt. What land is that talking about? We don't even need. You can just hear that scripture.
We gonna get to that.
Yeah, kind of. But it says New York abolishes Indian slavery, declaring all free except such as have been formerly brought from the Bay of Campeche, Mexico, and other foreign parts.
Yep. And other what?
And other foreign parts.
Right. They brought to America, right? Yep. Hey, that's the answer to these so-called niggas, man. All right. It's a tribe of Zebulon. Mark said he had an article a long time ago. That so-called mess with brought here American slaves, man. Hey, everything happened, man. It's true. All right. But Esau like to hide their history, man. To keep our people separate and keep our people dumb, blind, and stupid and shit, man. All right. So there you go, man. You scoffing ass niggas, man. Get a page in the book the American Square. You're page 171. You gotta get that out, man. All right. Let's get it to me. Show it to you. You black on Israelites, man. You finished. Dude.
Jack B. Ford.
Give one scripture. You ain't even gotta get the usual formula export. One scripture says all Israel is gonna be black.
Black.
Jacob shall not wax pale, brother. And then they ain't talking about that, nigga.
Right.
You know?
Ephraim is a cake.
Oh yeah, we don't get into that. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
It says on page 171, it says large numbers of captives in Spain and Portugal were Muslims of Spanish.
Those are wars. Go ahead.
Gives a name that says Walla, Berber, or Arab origin.
Just so James the one West Africa. Go ahead.
Spanish officialdom seems to have been highly suspicious of all non-whites in Spain who had become Latino, Spanish-speaking, or literally Latino.
Yep. Latino goes back to the word Latino, which means Spanish-speaking Jew.
Yep. Go ahead.
And attempted to
Or Sephardic Jew. Essentially Spanish-speaking Jew.
Yep. Go ahead.
And attempted to prevent their passage to the Americas out of fear of spreading dangerous ideas to the Native Americans.
Basically, they want them to get a clue they Israelite. Right, those that didn't know. Go ahead.
Such as Islamic or Judaic ideas.
The what?
Islamic or Judaic.
Or Judaic ideas. The truth of this Bible, man, the scriptures, man. So when the brothers, because some of our people, not all okay here, the slaves, but a lot of millions did, but some Jays came in free. The so-called the natives of that's what asked him to teach the Torah, man. And the high priest Ariah brought that out a long time ago, man. In the video, it was him. What time was it him or Marshall? It was one of them. It was one of them brought it out. I think it might have been Ariel brought that out. All right, go ahead.
The fear was that persons of color might have been contaminated in Spain by contact with Muslims, Jews, or people of color who had imbibed subversive
Go ahead.
ideas. In any case, it would be interesting to know how Americans from such diverse areas as Brazil, mostly Guarani, Garijo, probably Borinquen,
Puerto Rico, go ahead.
Haiti, Cuba, the Bahamas, Florida, Mexico.
Read that again. From where?
The Bahamas, Florida, Mexico.
From Mexico, huh? All right, somebody get Deuteronomy 28 and 28 and 64. Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
Hey, you can take a picture of that page 2 or something.
Somebody get Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people.
Among who?
All people.
And we read it again, so-called message scattered among all people. Read that now, right?
Hey, I was watching some cooking show on Netflix a while back. I believe it was on Netflix.
Right.
And they was they went to the kitchen and restaurant. This is overseas, like Greece or some shit. I forget what country.
Right.
And it was fucking Issachar in the kitchen cooking. They was in Europe, but it's Issachar working hard as hell on the other side of the world. Scattered, man. James 1:1. 12 tribes scattered around. 12 tribes, every tribe. Right.
Yeah. Hey, they went to the Philippines. Hey, the Spaniards they conquered the Philippines. They came to Mexico and vice versa. They carried the so-called Mexico to the Philippines. They bring the so-called Philippines on here to Mexico slavery, man. The Filipinos, they Israelites too, man.
Yeah, like Pacquiao. I think I think he's Filipino, but he can be a Jake. He's real big. Yeah, he's real big on the scriptures.
Right. Hey, you got brothers in GMS on that Philippines, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Briefly land back on the brother just said about Pacquiao, he gave a statement about homosexuality and got his endorsement revoked.
That's right.
He said it's not. He said that's not lawful. Pretty much, he said that's not lawful. I'm not with that. It's in the Bible. It's not lawful. Yeah,
And he stood on it.
yeah, he stood on it. They took his endorsements. He ain't switch up because a lot of niggas like.
Apologize.
Yeah, apologize. I said fuck Thanksgiving. Sorry. Or Curry. I said the moon. They never went to the moon. Sorry. He didn't even apologize. He said, "Nah, it's in the scripture. You're not supposed to be like that." That's that zeal. You know what I'm saying?
Read out. Go ahead.
Continuing the book, it says, and the Venezuela, Colombian coast interacted with each other and with Muslims and Africans of
Israelites. Go ahead.
of very diverse backgrounds.
All right, hey, Mac, go put Mexicans in the Philippines. And we just bring out the scriptures and going along with secular history, man. All right, the so-called Mexicans are Israelites for the traveling Issachar.
What's the first thing that had popped up?
Yeah, put that in there.
Want me to read it?
Yes.
Mexican settlement in the Philippines comprises a multilingual Filipino ethnic group composed of Philippine citizens with Mexican ancestry.
Oh yeah, you read.
How'd they get over there? Shit.
The immigration of Mexicans to the Philippines dates back to the Spanish period. In the Philippines, there are a couple of million Mexicans currently residing. The Mexican community has been established in those islands many years ago. Migration from Mexico has been important since the Spanish period and when the Philippines was trading with this country during the viceroyalty of New Spain. Mexican mestizos mixed with the inhabitants of the islands, similar to the amount of Spain and the United States, numbering up many names of Spanish origin.
All right, you scroll down. And read it. Okay, his history. Yep, read that.
Mexican immigration to the Philippines mainly occurred during the Hispanic period between 1565 and 1821. The Philippines were, in fact, administered from the viceroyalty of New Spain's capital, Mexico City. During this period, trans-Pacific trade brought many Mexicans and Spaniards to the Philippines as sailors, crew, prisoners, slaves.
Repeat that again. It's what?
It says many Mexicans and Spaniards. Well, we know the Spaniards came freely and the Mexicans came as what? To the Philippines as sailors, crew, prisoners, slaves, adventurers, and soldiers.
Yep.
In the Manila, Acapulco, galleons,
Yep.
which was the main form of communication between the two Spanish territories. Similarly, the route brought Filipinos, Filipino-born Spaniards, and other Southeast Asian groups to Mexico.
Just basically Israelites for the Filipinos and vice versa, the so-called Mexicans to the Philippines, man. So I get that Deuteronomy 26:4 again, man. All right.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64.
Go ahead.
It says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even with
the so-called Mexican Catholicism.
Join on to idols.
Join to idols, man.
That's
Hey, you go to Walmart. You go to Walmart in the Mexican neighborhood.
Yep.
I mean, Walgreens in the Mexican neighborhood. They got an aisle dedicated for the idols.
Yeah.
There's candles of fucking Virgin Mary.
Cesare.
Fucking
and he looks so gay too.
You can walk down the neighborhood, man. In the neighborhoods, in front of their porches, they got the Virgin Mary.
Right.
Two on each block, man.
Yeah.
On the corner of each block.
You go into their house, they got pictures of it, you know, pictures of all that shit, man.
Whatever runs on Islam, that's rising up in Mexico. Islam, man. All right, that movie guy.
I bring out something from the book.
Go ahead.
Just to prove, how that Christianity is off, man, and you guys are still following it. It says,
what book you read out of?
Read that.
This is the Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid by Peter Tompkins. Page 15, the little excerpt on the side.
Right.
It says, the Flemish artist Theodore de Bry depicted Indians hanging themselves for taking poison in acts of mass suicide from shock at the overthrow of their culture.
So great was the terror in Mexico about 1530 that Indians desisted from relations with their wives to avoid having children doomed to slavery. When asked to describe Christians, an old chief replied, they asked for maize, for corn, for cotton, for women, for gold, for silver. Christians will not work. They are liars, gamblers, and perverts, and they swear, man. You know, these are the original Christians, man. And that's what you guys are following now, man. You know, you guys learn Christianity and Catholicism by the edge of the sword, man.
Listen, they ask for everything. They ask for what?
They ask for everything,
right? Hey, these are they, man. You want you to fucking spend 12, 14 hours of the damn job. Yeah, all right, send your kids 6, 8 hours to the school. All right, he wants all your goddamn taxes. He's back with what, a fucking portion, man. Your whole money.
Yeah. And you can read that. You see that Bill 28. You can read the curse that says they shall have children and they should look after them in long form, but won't do anything, have no power.
It's in Deuteronomy 28, verse 32.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Oh, perfect. And what did you say? He said they didn't even want to have children. They didn't want them to be doomed to slavery, man. Right. They knew Esau was taking over, forcing them to be in slavery. Like, we don't want our children to go through that. That's the curse. So really, they had children, you know, until they went into slavery, like the curse said.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
Right, that's why I said they was doomed to slavery. They had no power to stop it. These are the curses of the Lord, man.
Your brother got scripture.
Go ahead.
This is Joel 3 verse 3.
Speak out loud.
You gotta speak up a little bit back there.
This is Joel 3 verse 3. They have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might take.
Yep, they doing the same thing, man. What's happening? The same thing happened to the so-called Mexicans and the rest of the so-called Native Americans, of the so-called natives of the Americas, man. All right, who they? They're Israelites, man. You can't get around this, man. All right, the curses fit these people on they say curses fit upon thy seed forever, man. The seed of Jacob, man. The so-called Mexicans are the Israelites, point blank, man. Ain't no getting around it, ain't no sugarcoating it, man. You can't deny this, man. All right. Go ahead.
One more.
Get it in, brother.
On the Catholic Church.
Go ahead.
It's page 16.
For the same, what's the name of the book?
From the same book, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid.
Yep. Go ahead.
By Peter Thompson. Yep. It says, as land was stolen from the natives, great famines ensued, yet heavy taxes were laid on Indians. Those who failed to pay were tortured to death. Indians who refused to join the Catholic Church were horsewhipped, had their heads shaved, and were forbidden to hold office or title in their villages for failing to attend mass and for practicing any of his old rites, and Indians could receive 100 lashes. It says, according to the Spaniards, Indians were supposed to know only the Our Father, Ave Maria, Credo, and the Ten Commandments. Reading and writing were considered as dangerous as the devil.
Hey, verse 36.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 36, it says, the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
That's right. So Esau came and did what? Forced that wood and stone upon our people, man.
Yep.
Idolatry, man. Beat them, whoop them, torture them till they fucking serve their gods, man. Plantation Christianity is a damn joke.
Yeah, that's right. You got that asshole vocab alone. He trying to put. You ain't gonna put the elect back to sleep vocab.
That's
alone.
what he trying to put us back in slavery. Goddamn it.
Right.
Fuck that. And that shows you that's the same devils, man. Yeah. That's what was happening back in the Greeks. Right? When Antiochus and them came to power, what did he do, man? He tried to forcibly force Jake into following, pushing away our customs and following theirs, man. He was hanging our woman, all right, for circumcising our children, all right, to what? To the intent that we would forget the law. So the same thing here. He beat this Christianity bullshit and all this idolatry into our people, man. You know?
Right, because he knows that he has to separate our people from our power, from the covenant, so that he can have control over it.
That's Psalms 83, man. The name of Israel may be no more and remember.
Yep.
Crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel.
And if they ever said, we're going to bow down to the psaltery, to the trumpet, you know, you go to these damn fucking games and they would say, stand up for the national anthem, man. There's been fucking fights. Jake don't want to stand up to that, man.
Right. So, y'all will get that Hosea's and bring something else up.
I
got something.
Okay.
This is the book, The Medieval Empire of the Israelites. It's by Robert Grisham and Vladimir Malamud. This page 29 is Ecuador. It says, as regard the South American Indians and their possible relation to the lost tribes of Israel, an article was published in the Israeli newspaper Maariv in December 1974 with the following content. It says, in 1587, the Jesuit Nicolas del Sul was sent to South America by the King of Spain for missionary purposes. It says to convert the Indians to Christianity. It says, which we just read how they were converting us to Christianity by the sword. It says, in Argentina, Nicholas discovered a people who bore Jewish names, namely Abraham, David, Moses, and so forth. It says, to the question about whether they were circumcised, these people answered thus, yes, just like our ancestors. In this same region were found stone knives used for circumcision.
So they were circumcised. That's our customs.
That's right.
That's one of the laws. Why were they keeping one of the laws of the Israelites? It's not a coincidence. The Lord said, "I've only showed my laws to the Israelites." Right. That's one of the main laws, that the sons of Israel be circumcised. Man, that was a custom they was keeping, just like who? Their ancestors. Who they descend from, go back to the Israelites who was given these laws.
Yeah, that was the law that showed that the Most High was going to deal with Abraham's seed, right? Right. And it was Isaac, and it rested upon Jacob, man. That's right. Yeah. It says, in the same region were found stone knives used for circumcision. Sharpened stone knives are mentioned also in the Bible as special instruments for completion of the rite of circumcision.
Yeah, that's how you use stone knives. Them motherfuckers in the land of Israel right now, they using their teeth, man.
Sucking on baby. Well,
that's how they
right.
That's giving them herpes.
And that definitely prove they not the original Israelites. They say Isaiah chapter 2 and Michael chapter 4 that when the Israelites return to the land, to be righteous and peace come to the land, man. That's not being righteous. Like put lips on getting baby herpes and shit, man. Put lips on their pieces. That's not righteous, man. All right, go ahead.
It says an Argentinian tribe where a stone slab with 3 commandments was found caused no less interest, saying, do not steal, do not lie, and do not kill. One may assume that these commandments are from the Old Testament and that they appeared in these lands before the arrival of the Spaniards.
Absolutely.
Yep. So there you go, man. They were following, the customs, man.
Well, what does it say in the book of 2nd Ezra? They left the land of their captivity to come to a new land where never mankind dwelt, to keep the laws.
Yeah, which they kept not in their own.
They couldn't keep in that country.
This is over here going on.
Yeah.
Putting hearts out and shit, rolling down.
But that's still going on. But that's why we're in the condition that we're in now, man.
Right. Matter of fact, the same book, go to page 79. Somebody get that second.
Hey, but you know what's heavy through the spirit? Why they even put the commandments? Because they did it in the book of the Lord word is perfect. It's purified 7 times. They did it in the book of Joshua, where certain northern kingdom tribes, I think it was 3 tribes.
Yeah.
Half the tribe of Manasseh. They was going to have the flood. So they built what? They built the altar. They built a mock ark. They said, we're doing this. When the time go by, y'all won't say we ain't the children of Israel.
Right.
So the Lord had that same spirit on them over here in this side across the bigger water. They did what? They brought relics. They made different copies of it. Because the 10 Commandments, the copy of that is in the temple, it's in the ark.
Yep.
That was in there with the priest. Right. It was a copy the priest had.
All right. So what did they do over here? They took it and made the same type of thing, man. So we can't say that y'all ain't the children of Israel. That's the proof. Just like it happened to Joshua, it happened now. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Bible Kushab. I believe it's 1:9. I hope I got the right. I slap motherfucker and tell me Big Rube ain't fucking rude, bro.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
So the same thing happened through the Spirit, man. A sword of the northern kingdoms, and they were split, and not separated, but they inherited their land that was separated by water. They took it, we made things that only the Levites have in the temple. All right, so we would know that they Israelites. They did the same thing in this generation, man. All right, so we found what? The Decalogue.
Yep, Lost Holy Song, the Lost Commandment Song,
the Lost Holy Song. Yeah. Yep. So we can't say you're not the Israelites, man. Yep. The Lord gave us all the proof, one, the scriptures, and also that they put that there, man. Like you said, they did even in the scriptures.
Hey, the brothers in the GMS precept, they went and investigated the Lost Lunas, the Lost Lunas Decalogue, the Lost Lunas 10 Commandments, and Lost Lunas Mexico, man. Examined it and translated on video, man.
That's heavy.
Yeah. So you stop, man. Hey, man, we archaeologists, man. We serious about this, man. You don't sit there just bring shit out our asses and shit, man. Hey, we proved it. We proved on the scriptures, man, and also with secular history. We got that out there a little bit more.
There's page 30. It says in 1974, in this very same region, were found round stone slabs with menorah, 7-pointed candlesticks on them.
It was 9, wasn't it?
Was 9.
Like right.
Some fake motherfuckers got 9. You know.
That's right.
That's it, man.
Another thing that was found in the temple, man. And what? They had a copy, so we can't say they're not the Israelites, man.
That's right. It says along the sides of these menorahs in the Aramaic language, which is another way of saying the Hebrew, was the inscription Passover. The Aramaic language was, we recall.
And the reason why I said Aramaic is because they used the Syrian characters to write the Hebrew out. Which proves that, like I said in 2 Kings 13, they got out of the Syrian captivity and came to this land. So they wrote in the Hebrew with the Syrian characters. And you open up your Torah today, we don't see the Paleo Hebrew characters there. We see Assyrian characters there. Because what happened? We got put in the Syrian captivity via the Babylonians. The northern kingdom got put in the Syrian captivity via the Assyrians. So we learned their script, but we used, of course, our language. We used their letters. It's like when we write Shalom in English, it's Hebrew, but we write S-H-A-W-A-M. Same thing they was doing. That's why they used those characters, man. They was fresh out of Syrian captivity.
Right. It says the American language we recall is a language of ancient Israel. I'm gonna jump down a chapter. It says this is clear right here. It says scientists think that this stone is nearly 3,000 years old.
Certain stones of it, they did even have paleo. Yeah. Certain depending on the stone, they found they had the paleo.
Or the Decalogue.
Ancient.
It says, it must be said, and then, hey, Esau's tongue falls upon himself right here. It says, it must be said that the problem of the South American Jewish Indians have been occupying the minds in Europe since as early as the 17th century, man. Since the 1600s, man, they've been knowing who the fuck we were, man. You know what they've been knowing, man. Yeah. You know, they read from Ezra.
Hey, look, man, hey, fuck you BOIs, man. Go watch goddamn 1492. It makes it clear that Esau knows, even these movie directors, and that Columbus punk ass knew that it was Israelites over here in this side of the world, man. He read the Esdras. He said, yeah, they over there, the Esdras.
They tell you in the Jewish Encyclopedia when you look up our Saref.
Yep.
It says that Columbus associated America with this land, man. You know.
And this in the spirit, they go to somebody gets 2 Kings 13:39. Somebody get paid. He pays 79. This huh? You got some more to read on that?
Which is
the book Mysteries.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I was just showing a couple brothers here, man. They got the. I mean, of course, you can go to the museum or the place where it's at for the Moabite stones, but they also got the replica here at the Oriental Institute Museum. Man. You know what I'm saying? A few brothers went there, and it's right there in Paleo Egypt. Right?
All right. Somebody get that.
I got it right here. The second Edges 13 and 39. It says, and whereas thou saw that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto himself.
Yep.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. Hosea the king.
Yep. Read that in I believe 1 Kings chapter 17. Yep. Go ahead.
Whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so called they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves,
right, that was carried into Assyria. Go ahead.
That they will lead the multitude of the heathens and go forth into further country.
Into what?
Into a further country.
All right, so ain't no damn Turkey or no damn Africa, man. All right, go ahead, keep reading.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Never mankind dwelt. Mankind was dwelling in Africa and Turkey and that. All right. All right. So they don't make no damn sense. You fucking idiots, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 42, it says, they that might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land.
That's why you got Hebrew artifacts all over America, man. They're trying to keep the law, statutes, commandments, man. All right, but the prophecy of them falling had to be fulfilled. And, hey, guess what? The prophecy of them rising up is going to be fulfilled, whether you like it or not. Vocab alone. All right, go ahead.
Right, because you got the land of Israel in this area right here where you see the mouse at. And they were carried over here. Now, Assyria was located somewhere in this area right here. Now, they're giving you the modern day, what these places look like now, but hey, brothers can research it themselves. This is the land of Israel. The northern kingdom possessed Samaria, which was at the top, and they were carried away into Assyria, because here is Babylon, and the land of Assyria was pretty much right above it. So in this area, you know. Keep reading, bro.
Second Edges 13 and 42. It says that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land, and they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
As you can see, these two rivers right here.
Right.
One river right here, that's the Tigris. One next river right here, that's the Euphrates. This is what they entered into right here. You know.
And it was springtime. That's why that river was flooded, man. I did my research. Springtime, springtime, that river floods, man. All right, so and you start talking, oh, they walked, and you gonna walk on top of the river, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. It was ridiculous, man. All right, keep reading.
Verse 44, it says, the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
Go ahead.
Right, so now they entered into Euphrates. They came down into the Persian Gulf, and they pretty much sailed around the Horn of Africa. If I can get a map of Africa. That's one right there. I think this one is better, you know. Yeah. But the Horn of Africa is right at the bottom of Africa. So they entered into the Persian and came around down into the bottom of Africa down here. And that's some of the rough waters down there that they sailed down there, you know, which links up with First Kings. Now, when you do the research in the history of First Kings, King Solomon had a navy right here called Ebenezer or Ebezion, if I'm not mistaken, but it was right in the peninsula of Sinai. You know, it was right down here in the one of the gulfs. You got the Gulf of Suez and the Gulf of Aqaba. You know, and he had a navy that was located down here, man. So they pretty much took the same route, you know, from the Persian Gulf right here and from the Red Sea right here, you know, it's pretty much the same route over to America, you know.
I got that team.
No, this brother could finish the part where it says a year and a half or 3 years.
It says, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Asareth.
Right, and the same niggas don't even know what that means. We're gonna say that's the land of Africa. Asareth in the Hebrew is Achar Aratazah, which means another land. And that other land is where never mankind dwelt. Now, when you read the book of Psalms, it speaks about how men dwelt in the land of Ham. The land of Ham is known as Africa today. So if the 12 tribes went to Africa, that makes this scripture a lie. And the Lord said, what? His words will not come back void. He said he is not a man and he shall lie.
No lie of the truth.
Say that again, bro.
No, there's no lie of the truth.
Exactly, man. You know?
And it don't take a year and a half to go that distance either.
To go to Africa.
It don't take a year and a half. The Pacific said a year and a half to go from that.
Well, 3. Well, no.
Well, back and forth.
Right.
But just a year and a half period. Just go from that part of the land of the Ham, Africa, back to Syria. Like, come on, man, you do the math. But niggas stuck in their own ways, man. Like, the BOI niggas is stupid. Yeah,
It says, then dwelt they there until the latter times, and now when they shall begin to come.
Hey, and what does it say in Micah 4:10? And Babylon shall the deliverance be. That's what. So the northern kingdom will be wherever Jacob was taken to, so like wherever Judah was taken to, and serving out that slavery. Whatever Babylon is, that's America. Plain and simple. That's deliverance. It says, be in pain and labor, and daughters of Zion, but thou shalt be delivered from Babylon.
And that's where they were oppressed together.
That's right. In Babylon, yeah. Jeremiah 50 is talking about Babylon.
Right.
That's here.
They cuss that false doctrine that the northern kingdom tells to Africa. Right, go ahead.
Isaiah 22:17, but the point 18. Behold, the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball to a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the same of thy Lord's house. So the same place where we be talking turn, it be simply about deliverance, man.
Yeah, and it's Jeremiah 16:16 from the land of the north. Right. You know, that's where they're delivered from, right here, North America. That's what they call them North American Indians. You got the East Indians, you got the North American Indians. Yeah. That's the land of the North.
North Gate. All right, read that page on the book entitled.
It's Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid by Peter Thompson. Page 79. It says 4 times Bolton is said to have returned from his former home across the Atlantic, known as Valum Shivim, which Ordonez eventually identified as the city of Tripoli in Phoenicia. After one of these return voyages, Bolton is described as having come to a great city where a magnificent temple was under construction, which was intended to reach to heaven, but was doomed by a confusion of languages. In his Constituciones, Núñez de la Vega was even more specific, saying that what Bolton saw was the Great Wall, the Tower of Babel.
So they had the story of the Tower of Babel, the so-called Mexicans. All right, and they said, how they get that, man? Because they the Israelites. They brought that tradition along with them from their over their homeland, the so-called Middle East, man. All right, give me now.
It says in a manuscript written in Quiche,
meaning Quiche, talking about the Maya, Travis Zabulon. All right, go ahead.
In 1554, by several Maya Indians, its Spanish translator, Padre Dionisio Jose Chonay, had this to say. It is supposed in the manuscript that the 3 great Quiche nations mentioned in particular are descendants of the 10 tribes of the kingdom of Israel.
Ooh, it says what?
It says it was supposed in the manuscript that the 3 great Quiche nations mentioned in particular are the descendants of the 10 tribes of the kingdom of Israel. You know, so they wrote it in their own manuscripts, man.
Yeah.
They were those people, man.
That's why Esau was burned on manuscripts.
Yeah, a lot of them was destroyed, you know.
Yeah.
Even the Montezuma, when they came over here to the Americas, they met with Montezuma. He was like the leader of the Aztec Empire at that time,
right.
And he was telling them, like, they recorded in the oration or him speaking publicly to the people. They recorded how he was reminding them and telling them that their forefathers pretty much came from another land over in the east, right?
I believe that's in page 13. Turn to page 13.
Okay.
So the spirit you mentioned that.
Hey, that's
13? Yeah, 13.
It says on August 13, 1521, after a 75-day siege in one of the most remarkable naval operations in history, Tenochtitlan fell to the Spaniards, leaving more than 240,000 Aztecs dead from wounds or disease. The people of Tenochtitlan, in the account of Lopez de Gomara, one of the eyewitnesses, conquistadors, were tormented by hunger, and many starved to death. There was no fresh water to drink, only stagnant water.
Oh, never mind. That's it. That's not it. But let's brought that truth out. But anyway, we put on page 79 that they came from the land of Israel, man. All right, so you can't deny that truth, man. All right. Somebody get a Hosea chapter 7.
Can I keep reading on that 79?
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It says, in particular, were the descendants of the 10 tribes of the kingdom of Israel, whom Salmanassar reduced to perpetual captivity, and who, finding themselves in the confines of Assyria, decided to emigrate, man. And that's written in Second Ezra.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, because a lot of the history that they destroyed, it lines up with the same thing they was doing during the time of the Grecians.
Right.
You know, they was destroying. They was anybody that was found with the law, you know, they was killed. Just like during the time of Esdras, he spoke about how the law was burnt. Meaning what? That our temple was burned down with all the books in the books during that time was what? The scrolls, man. And who burnt the temple? When we read that in First Esdras, the Edomites did that, man.
Yeah.
So this is their MO. This is to destroy our records, man. Destroy who we are. You know.
Hate the Bible. They hate the law. They hate the scriptures. They gonna outlaw. In California, they try to say this. You got to register your Bible as a salt record. It's cutting their ass up, man.
Yeah.
Soon they gonna demonize us and anybody that's claiming that they're Israelites, we gonna be terrorists. Also, anybody following the Bible like us, man, you a terrorist.
Right.
You know?
Exactly what he did. The conquistadors did when they first came over here, man. That's to defame us first, man. They used to send propaganda back to Spain, talking about we're savages and that everybody was cannibal,
sacrifice every day.
Yeah. So they, brought up the people to destroy them, man. That's what they're trying to do now. But the word of the Heavenly Father is going to prevail, man. All right. If I finish your paragraph, it says the actual text ran, the actual manuscript ran saying this. It says, these then were the 3 nations of Quiches, and they came from where the sun rises, right from the east. It says, descendants of Israel of the same language and the same custom.
Right? They went to friends and stuff. Right. Hey, the name Maya goes back to the word water, man. Fountain. Yep. All right.
You said
Mayam.
Right. Yep. Mayam is from Maya. Matter of fact, check the Hebrew name Maya. In there. It's Hebrew name Maya. Maya.
Oh, Maya.
Yeah, Maya. Just put Hebrew name Maya. Watch box up. Just scroll down.
Well, the first one said we can spring the brook.
I
said that first one even says right there, spring the brook.
Means spring brook.
Yep. Origin. Yep. Short for Mayan.
Maya.
Anyway, that's the let's go. That's the point anyway, man. All right. What I said, Hosea 7:8. They get that book for
Hosea,
yeah. Go ahead.
Hosea 7 and 8. It says Ephraim He hath mixed himself among the people, even as a cake not turned.
Even as a cake not turned, man. I mean, they should mix other different that, but you got on Mexico, man. He mixed amongst the so-called Negroes, Esau. It mixed with more so-called Chinese, the Koreans, the East Indians, Elam. All right.
In Mexico, they have a problem between light skins and dark skins. Dark skinned Mexicans.
Yep.
I can't remember what Afro Mexican, Afro Latino, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And they be getting shitted on by the light skinned ones, man. It's that it's the same thing amongst you, the light skin versus dark skin. It's the same thing.
That's right.
And that's and you can only find that amongst the Latinos, man.
Yep.
You can always find somebody that looks like the other nation, man, because they mix themselves among the nation.
Well, the brother mentioned Canelo earlier. He pale as hell, but he's a straight up Israelite.
I watched him go shoe shopping. He's a nigga.
And this is the book Sex and Race, page chapter 6, page 72. Show the cover and then show the page. So there you go, man. All right, show us out of page. 72, 73. All right, I said that. Okay. Right. Do the honor. Start on top. It
says chapter 6, Mexico. Miscegenation in Mexico differs from other Latin American lands in that most of it seems to have been between the Indian and the Negro. Apparently, the Mexican Indian has been more mixed with Negro than any other group of American Aborigines.
That's a tough for you. You 2/3 with so I'm not talking about you don't like the so-called Negro too. You got Negro blood in your veins, man.
I mean, well, you use Israelites the whole time, you know.
Right,
so you just mingling amongst your own people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's right, man. Hey, some of you look just like that brother right now. You Judah, man. All right.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, Yaganaya might be Judah. Yana guy, he might be Judah, man. All right, go ahead. What you say? Scalping him.
He from Chicago, Benjamin, so he a Jew, you know.
Yeah.
He look like a Mexican.
Yeah.
It says there were a considerable number of Negroes at the start. 200 of them occupied accompanied Cortez, the conqueror of Mexico.
Sell out.
The conqueror of Mexico in 1519. One of whom, Juan Garrido, was the first to sow and to reap wheat in the New World. Other Negroes accompanied.
Hey, it's a lot. It's some of the Negro conquistadors of base. Hey, they popped some of this common, man.
Yeah, we go to Israel too. What you probably look it up on Google, but the Mexicans is keeping a Sabbath, keeping a new moon, and a lot of these conquistadors that was the Jews, so-called natives.
Yeah.
They shared their customs where they brought Torahs with them.
Yeah.
They showed them the Shabbat. They kept it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and even in Mexico, they published it. The Apostle Hart brought this out. There was a newspaper circulating there. They published a Mexican newspaper about the how the conquistadors, the black ones, of course.
Yeah.
Which are the real Jews. Hanging brought Torahs with them, and they was going over keeping the Sabbaths with them.
Yeah.
And so, like it says, it's either Deuteronomy or the Genesis. I think it's Deuteronomy, it's the Numbers. It's somewhere. Issachar, they praise and be accepted over there. You know, so Issachar down in Mexico, when you go in Mexico, it's still Issacharites that keep those customs. They still keep the new moon.
Yeah.
They wear the clothes, the fringes.
Yeah.
You know, they still doing it.
Oh, they doing the sign of the time. Somebody please get
Proverbs. They're praise and be
hold
accepted
it.
over there.
First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32.
Chapter.
Somebody get First Chronicles chapter 12.
This is First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32. And the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them who were 200, and their brethren were at their commandment.
He said, "Tell them what they're trying to do, man. That's they going by the stars, man. All right, like that PBS special of Latinos. The dude said, "What, brother? We with?" He said his grandma said that the stars are the left. He said the left half of God, man. All right.
So,
Yeah.
had a brief testimony when I was in Mexico. I was talking to my dad's older friend, and he was telling me stuff about my grandpa and the older man. And basically, the farmers over there, they were able to read the stars, and they were able to like discern if it's going to be a good year for farming or a bad year for farming. So they know how to read the stars.
Yeah.
The almanacs that we use today, the farmer's almanac, to this day, these almanacs are based off the calendars that the Aztecs made. To this day, they were so fucking far ahead. And okay, we know, we got it. We marked these stars line up with this, so the stars next. So fucking however they did it, they got it. I found that precept, and it's heavy because this goes to why we got the Decalogue, why they found menorahs over here. It's prophesied that Issachar would do that even over here. It's Deuteronomy 33 and 18. And of Zabulon, he said, rejoice Zabulon by going out, and Issachar by tents. And Issachar and Zabulon is right there. That's Central America. They together, man. They should, because when people talk about the I said Aztecs, I meant the Mayans. When you talk about the Mayan calendar, you know, that was Zabulon and Issachar together. Issachar mainly because they had that blessing, but that was both of those tribes together. It says, what? They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand. All right? So what? It says they will offer the sacrifice of righteousness. That's why you got the commandments. That's why you talk to the Lord. That's why even to this day, there's been a line of them, so-called Mexicans, man, that still keep the Sabbath, according to the new moon. They still wear the fringes. You know, they still keep these laws written.
Hey, and the brother, because we was talking about the Issachar reading the signs. Now the brother Izar Ban Yasharallah, he put on here, Azteca was a Hebrew name given to the Mexica by the white man. Az means time, and Teca means people of. So Azteca means people of time. You know, he said Khan. That's why the conquistadors called Issachar Azteca.
Yep. You go page 95 of Book Founding Nations. You can read the ping right here. It says the pain in the codex depicts Emperor Montezuma before the comet of Spain, filled with dismay by the sight of the comet, a prophetic Santa intended death and destruction. So he's looking at the stars, man. He got this book right here. You see Montezuma doing what? I'm sorry. It's a cat. You can see Montezuma, man, right there in that picture. He looking at the stars, man. All right, because they the tribe of Issachar, man. So what? They should look for the stars and sky for signs, man. All right. So there you go. There you go, Malcolm. You can go on, man. All day.
I mean, it's been proven. Like
it's been proven. It's been proven. So, hey, all praises to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders in New York, straight millstone. The salutation to your Arkham around the world that seeks the truth 100% righteously. All right. So, Shalom and a ball.
That was
hot, boy.
When we get together, that was for a tribe, bro.
We still live to this thing acting crazy.
Shit. I ain't know I miss it, though.